Okay, welcome to notes number 2 in Unit 1. We're going to look at one type of transformation today, and we're going to look at translations. And we talked about those yesterday, or today in class. Translations is just a slide. Sometimes it's referred to as a glide. Okay, the set of notes you should have in front of you should say Unit 1-2-1. The 2 stands for the second set of notes for this unit. And we are going to talk about the first type of transformation we're going to talk about are translations, which really is a slide. Sometimes it will be referred to as a glide, but a translation, all it does, it slides a figure or a point a fixed distance in a given direction. So all that means is if we take, like for example, the points below, if we take point A and we translate it to A prime, and that prime mark should be right there, so let me go ahead and fix that. The prime mark should be right there. If we translate A to A prime, what distance and in what direction did we go? So to go from A to A prime, we can go 2 to the right and up 1, or we can go up 1 and 2 to the right as well. So the translation for A to A prime is to the right 2 and up 1. So this translation maps A to A prime. So we're going to name the coordinates of the translation image of each of the following points. So to go to A prime, we went to the right. I'll write that over here so I can refer back to it. We went to the right 2, and then we went up 1. So if we were to take point O and go to the right 2 and up 1, O prime would be at the coordinate 2, 1. So for O prime, prime mark tells us that that is the translated image or the image, so O prime would be at 2, 1. And I'm going to go ahead and mark that. 2, 1 is right here, and that would be O prime. So same thing for C to C prime. We're going to the right 2 and up 1. So to the right 2 and up 1. So C prime would be at 0, 4. If we want to map E to E prime, same thing. To the right 2 and up 1. So E prime would be at 5, negative 3. Go ahead and finish 4, 5, and 6. For B to B prime, D to D prime, and then A prime, we're going to translate again. I'm going to call it a double prime, but we'll get back to that in just a second. Okay, so go ahead and check your coordinates for E prime, B prime, D prime, and since I mapped this was the pre-image, this was the translated image, and then if I were to map, do the same right 2 and up 1, right 2 and up 1 for a double prime, we would be at 0, negative 1. So in example 2, we're going to name the coordinates of the pre-image of each of the following points. So A prime, if I want to know the pre-image, now we're going to go backwards. So before where we went to the right to go from the image to the pre-image, we're going to do the opposite of this. So we would go to the left 2 from our point and then down 1. So if I'm going from A prime to A, I'm going to the left 2 and down 1. You could also go down 1 and to the left 2. So for A in this case, it would be the point negative 4, negative 3. So let's go back to, I'm going to skip over to O. Here is point O. If I want to go backwards, I want to go down 1 and to the left 2. So the pre-image of O would be 0, negative 2, negative 1. So again, we're going backwards. So go ahead, find the coordinates for the pre-image of B. If it were translated, we're going backwards, left 2, down 1 for C, for D, and for E. Okay, go ahead and check your answers. So for B, it was 0, 1, D, -2, -2, C was -4, 2, and number 6E was 1, -5. Okay, so translations can be described using two types of notation. So what did we do to get from our take our image, our pre-image, to our translated image? So we can use function notation and vector notation. And function notation is the algebraic notation. And so if we write it algebraically, when we took x and y and we translated it, on the horizontal we added 2 to the x coordinate, and on the vertical we added 1 to the y coordinate. So this just means that it's a translation of to the right 2 and up 1. If we want to write that in vector notation, and vector is, we're just talking about direction, where again vectors would be x and y. We're just writing what did we do to the x, we added 2 to the x value. What did we do to the y, we added 1 to the y value. You could also write that without the positives. You could write it as 2 and just 1. And so this would be vector notation with these, it looks like greater than and less than symbols on each side. Okay, now it is your turn. So we have multiple choice question number 1. Triangle QRS is translated 4 units to the left and 2 units up. Which ordered pair is a vertex of the translated image? So keep in mind, vertices are where the, I don't want to say it's the corners, it's the where the two sides of whatever figure, where two sides meet. So these are our vertices right here. And then number 2, free response, triangle JKL has vertices of the following. A translation maps the point J to J prime. So we went from 2, 4 to 3, 3. Write the translation rule as an algebraic rule. So again, refer back to your notes. The algebraic rule would be XY transforms. What are we doing to get from 2 to 3 and from 4 to 3? So what are we doing to the x and what are we doing to the y? Please make sure to enter your answers on the Google form. And again, there is a spot on there if you have any questions about tonight's notes. Have a good night.